The Women's Coaching Alliance is based in Burlingame, and they work to develop female leaders on and off the field through coaching youth sports. And they are about to hold their second annual benefit. So joining us live to talk about all of the above, Pam Baker. She is the founder of Women's Coaching Alliance, WCA. Pam, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Amanda.
And so for people who maybe aren't familiar, let's first start off with what is WCA, and then we'll get into, which I understand is a very personal reason behind the creation of it.
Yeah, we are all about developing female leaders. We do it through coaching youth sports. So we partner with the recreational sports organizations that are running leagues like Parks and Rec, AYSO in soccer, that are looking for coaches. And we plug in young women who have played that sport. And in the process, as they coach younger kids, they develop these leadership skills that we know they're going to carry into jobs and careers and life.
So important, especially that growth. And there is a very personal reason as to why you created it. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so it was really kind of based on the legacy of my husband, who was an athlete, and he was an avid coach to our twin daughters. And every season he would get out there to coach, and as he was coaching girls, he recognized there was value in having more women out there coaching with him. And every season he would say, where are all the women coaches? And so we're attempting to answer that question by bringing more young women into coaching. So they coach boys and girls, and they're mentored by men and women. So it's very much a male and female organization, all aligned in this goal of how do we get more young women into leadership positions as they head into the world.
No kidding. And I know that off camera, we talked a little bit about this moment that we're in right now, nationally, globally, really, with a focus on girls, women in sports. How are you all seeing this and kind of capitalizing on what we're experiencing now?
We have had just amazing support from leaders across the board. And I think all of them aligned in this idea of there is something really powerful that's happening in women's sports. And it's not just about women's sports, it's about the impact on all of us, on society, on fans. And so we've had Steve Kerr came out and talked to our coaches, support from the NFL commissioner. We've had Tara Vanderveer, and we've got Jess Smith, who's the president of the Golden State Valkyries, coming to our event. Brady Stewart from Bay FC. So I think there's really this groundswell of support of what's happening in women's sports, and I think more broadly what that means for the recognition of the value of men and women in leadership and sports writ large.
Yeah, and you're talking about the who's who of Bay Area sports, really. And how does that, when it comes to the benefit, how is that going to help WCA?
Yeah, so we've got a great lineup. We've got, again, Golden State Valkyries President Jess Smith. We've got the president of Kaiser Permanente Northern California, Carrie Owen Pleats. We've got podcaster Zena Kita, who are going to come together and talk about the transformational impact of investing in women's sports. And it aligns nicely because we are all about investing in our young women. And we know that if you invest now, it's going to pay dividends over time. We pay our coaches, and that's the most expensive part of what we do. And we do that so that young women learn the value of their time and effort, and they go out into the world confident to negotiate for equal pay.
Yeah, of course. And so how can we and our viewers continue to help close that gap that we're seeing?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we have found is in trying to get more young women into coaching, ask them. Ask them to step up to coach. Ask that young woman that you see who probably isn't ready to take that step and step into leadership and coaching on her own. Nudge her there. That is all of our roles as the adults around these young women to say, I see something in you. You are going to be a really impactful leader. I want you to go for it. And I think the other piece that all of us can do is to serve as mentors, whether it's formal or informal, in supporting these young women as they develop their leadership skills. It doesn't ever go perfectly, and that's part of the point. And helping them navigate through those difficult situations and uncomfortable moments, having a trusted adult there to help them say, yes, what have you learned and how are you going to use that moving forward, is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it makes all the difference. Thank you so much for joining us this morning,
Thanks
Pam.
for having me.
You can get all the details about the benefit October 4th at womenscoachingalliance.org. We'll be right back.